the Jets side of things, storylines from the draft. Michael Penix goes number 8. What were you thinking when that happened?
Oh, man, I don't know what I was thinking. And listen, I'll say this. Penix wasn't my favorite. I did not have a first-round grade on him, but I expected him to go in the first round just because quarterbacks are always overdrafted. That's fine. Even if you told me he went in the top 10, I'd shake my head like this, but it wouldn't completely surprise me. Now you throw in the fact that Atlanta picked him after just signing Kirk Cousins to a $180 million contract, something like that, thinking that maybe they were a piece or two away from really competing in a light division. To me, it just didn't make sense. So, listen, triple whammy. I wouldn't have taken him in the first round. Thought it was going to happen. I wouldn't have taken him in the top 10. Kind of surprised that it happened. Drafted by Atlanta, I was freaking floored. So,
I'll be honest, it was like the one thing that I was hoping wouldn't happen. I wanted Atlanta to take a defensive player, because then at least I felt like we could have traded in front of the Bears, because sliding back one pick it shouldn't be too painful for him. But obviously Penix, if they didn't take him at 8, there's the potential of the Raiders possibly trading up to 9 and snagging him in front of the Jets pick if we were to have traded up in front of them. So,
well, it's real interesting about that too. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's it's come out that the 𝐉𝐞𝐭𝐬 was the Jets' target. Okay, they tried to get up to 6 to get him. They didn't, and included, from what I understand, not only some picks in this draft, but some picks in next year's draft that the Giants didn't want to budge off, which was fine. And then they had a lot of talks with Atlanta, but Atlanta was very concerned that not only the Raiders, but supposedly the Saints and Seattle were knocking at doors trying to come up to get Penix. So they figured if they drop down at all, if they drop down a little bit, even if they drop from 8 to 10, one of those teams can scoop in at 9 and take him. So I don't, if that's their guy, I can't knock it. The more interesting part of that is after Joe Douglas pivots and realizes that that's not going to happen, is that he starts working the phones with other teams that do want to come up. And there were still teams that wanted to come up, but he wouldn't drop down too far. He didn't want to, Seattle had offered him something to come up. For who they were coming up to 10 after Penix, I'm not sure, but he didn't want to drop that far because he was afraid that, once they pivoted, they knew if it wasn't going to be a Dunze, it was going to be Olo, and they figured one spot was good enough. That was it.
What's up, guys? Matt O'Leary from Talkin' Jets. If you liked that video, please make sure to subscribe and follow for more New York Jets content.